The date was March 4th, 2016. This was the day that changed my life forever and what brought me here today. I had plans to set up an event here in Colorado. I wanted to bring something very special to the community. And it was a movie that I've been waiting for many years. I remember when I sat down and watched the trailer for Zootopia almost like every hour. I just couldn't wait to see what world would come. And I wanted to share that. I wanted to share this unique world. The world that, in my mind, was the ideal furry fandom. If we were real anthropomorphic animals, Zootopia would be our city. And I really wanted to see this happen. And I put my efforts, including the group, the Furry Raiders, to make this idea a reality. And I wanted it to be accessible to everyone. And I wanted us to show our generosity to everyone. And with all the hard planning, that day came. And I remember when I first walked out in suit, looking like I am now, and it felt magical. People, all kinds of furries were coming to see Zootopia. And with the help and coordination of the Furry Raiders, it succeeded. And while we were sitting in the back of the theater watching the movie, I felt it. I felt my heart pound from the breathtaking images that I saw on the screen. I could never believe that it has happened. A world dedicated to anthropomorphic animals. And it was vivid and lively, and it had so much energy. And it was packed with so much emotion. When the scene got to when Nick Wilde, as a young fox, got muzzled up, it brought tears to me. For a short while, I felt what he felt. I felt what my past was as a child, being treated differently because I was a furry. And I knew that this was going to be the key in changing the furry fandom. This one movie. And I embraced it. And when it was all over, I got back in suit and ran down to the front of the screen and just threw my paws up and yelled how great it was. Never seeing so many furries in one space. Never had the chance, never interacted before with that many furries in my life. It was a beautiful experience. And I thought greatness would come to it. That this would be the change that I've been waiting for. Then the next day happened. After everybody said their goodbyes, hugged each other, hugged me, and said it was the best meet of all time. That's the day I said no. I had people come to my social media feeds that I rarely ever used, or in some cases never, and telling me I had to change. I had to take this off. I had to stop being Foxler. And my response was no. And most of the time when you say no, it doesn't mean much. But sometimes it really does change a lot of things in your life. And for me, it did. I kept saying no. I would not do that. And over the weeks and months that passed by, as I kept saying it, as I kept showing that I wouldn't change, the world around me grew. I started seeing more of all the problems and issues in the world that I never saw before. But at the same time, I was grateful for being myself. I didn't have doubt on who I was. And by being grateful brought me enough happiness to be able to become someone better for the things I wanted in life. I became a better mate. I became better at my job. And I became better with the close friends that I had. I worked through a lot of problems during that time. But being grateful for who I was allowed me to do all that. And now I have a mate that I've never had before. Out of so many relationships I've been through, I've never felt that someone that was going to be with me so close and so far. Someone that's not going to let me go. That will be there to protect me, and I'll be there to protect them. It was remarkable. And then getting compliments from my boss, or my boss is, that my work ethics were getting better. My communication through my emails and stuff were improving. I was becoming the management that they wanted from me. The position that I was trying to fill, I made it happen. And it was a great feeling, and I had more opportunities than ever to explore new things. I've done more things in the last few years than I have ever done before. And it's just because I said no. And in as much negativity came from that, a lot of interpersonal growth followed. You know, I started making some really great friends that I could rely on and trust. Before I would just be a tool to help them through their problems, which I didn't mind. You know, I like being generous and do what I can to help people when I can. But it was a very lonely world to live in, because you're only useful for the skills you had. But now, people were looking up to me to help them through their day, or tough things in life, or just wanted to understand how I could continue on saying no to everybody that wanted me to change. And now I've become a kind of a inspiration for them. So there's nothing wrong in saying no. And I will continue saying no to everyone that wants me to change, because they believe that I am the problem, when all I want was to exist as myself. That is it. There was nothing more, nothing less. And they can't accept that. So, in turn, they are paving their own path of internal hatred for people they don't even know. And if you want to make a change, start with yourself. Nobody else should be involved. And that's how I've always kept it. I've always focused on just myself. And it turned out really well. And it keeps growing every day. And I'm glad that the Furry Raiders, no matter how tough the situation is, still sticks together. And that's because all of you have the capability of also saying no. And because of that, we have grown to start becoming more diverse than ever. And that's something to fight for.